We've all heard the story. Gavrilo Princip, failed assassin, stops for a sandwich, only to find the Archduke's car pulling up right in front of him, as if fate itself had arranged the meeting. It's a tale that's been repeated in textbooks, documentaries, and even casual conversations, painting history as a series of bizarre coincidences. Fate, it seems, serves up history on a plate, offering up moments that feel almost scripted, as if destiny itself had a hand in shaping the world's most pivotal events. But the sandwich story is a myth, a convenient fiction that oversimplifies a far more complex reality. The real events were far messier, driven by political tension, miscommunication, and tragic error. The truth is tangled, full of uncertainty and human flaws. Sarajevo, June 28, 1914. A city simmering with resentment under Austro-Hungarian rule, its streets tense with the weight of occupation and the hope of change. Archduke Franz Ferdinand's visit was a provocation to Serbian nationalists, a symbol of imperial dominance that many found intolerable. A group of young men, armed and determined, lined the motorcade's route, ready to strike for their cause. They were not just rebels, but products of their time, shaped by radical ideas and a burning desire for change. Backed by the Black Hand, a secretive and ruthless organization, they waited for their moment, not for a sandwich, but for a chance to change history, no matter the cost. The plan was simple: attack as the Archduke passed, hoping to strike a blow that would echo across Europe. But nothing went as planned. Chaos, confusion, and missed opportunities defined the day, as the conspirators' actions spiraled out of control. The world was about to change, not because of a snack, but because of a volatile mix of nationalism, poor security, and human error. The assassination was the spark, but the powder keg had been packed for years. The sandwich myth makes history seem accidental, but the truth is more unsettling. It was the result of deliberate choices, desperate gambles, and a world teetering on the edge. This was a story of choices, of a continent on the edge, and of a chain reaction that would ignite a world war, one that would reshape borders, societies, and lives forever. By focusing on the myth, we risk missing the real forces at play: political fervor, strategic blunders, and the explosive atmosphere of 1914 Europe, where every decision carried enormous weight. The assassination wasn't a fluke. It was the result of deep-seated desires for national identity and a fatal underestimation of the chaos about to be unleashed. The world would never be the same. The real story is far more human and far more tragic than any legend about a sandwich. It's a reminder that history is shaped by people, their passions, and their mistakes. Let's set the record straight and remember the true complexity behind the events that changed the world. In the chaos of that fateful day, one account stands out above the rest. Countess Sophie Langes von Wellenberg, seated in the car just behind the Archduke and Duchess as the events unfolded in Sarajevo. As lady-in-waiting to Duchess Sophie, she witnessed the tragedy up close. Her testimony is raw, immediate, and deeply personal, offering a rare glimpse into the emotional turmoil of those moments. She saw the bomb attack, the confusion that swept through the streets, and the fateful decision to change the route, each detail etched into her memory by fear and uncertainty. Her words capture the panic, the shouts, the gunshots, and the final moments of the Archduke and Duchess, painting a vivid picture of chaos and heartbreak. Through her eyes, the assassination becomes more than a political event. It's a human tragedy, marked by grief, shock, and the sudden loss of loved ones. The Countess's account reminds us, these were real people, caught in a moment of unimaginable violence, their lives forever altered in an instant. Without voices like hers, history risks becoming abstract, a mere catalyst for war, rather than a story of lives forever changed, families shattered, and a world thrown into turmoil. Her testimony grounds the event in human experience, making the horror of Sarajevo real, immediate, and impossible to forget. The morning began with ceremony as dignitaries and citizens gathered along the banks of the Miljacka River. Flags fluttered, uniforms gleamed, and anticipation filled the air. The Archduke's motorcade rolled along the Appel Quay, its polished cars gliding past crowds pressed against the railings, eager for a glimpse of royalty. Hidden in the crowd, the first assassin lost his nerve, paralyzed by fear as the moment slipped by. The second, Nedeljko Čabrinović, seized his chance and hurled a bomb at the Archduke's car, his hand trembling with adrenaline. The driver reacted instantly, accelerating. The bomb bounced off the folded-down roof and exploded beneath the next car, sending shrapnel and panic through the street, injuring 20 bystanders and officials. Čabrinović tried to escape, swallowing a dose of old cyanide and leaping into the shallow river, desperate to avoid capture. The poison failed and he survived, only to be dragged from the water and arrested by police. Amid the chaos, Franz Ferdinand remained composed, brushing off his shaken entourage and insisting on continuing to the town hall as planned. The failed attack exposed glaring security flaws, but the day's schedule pressed on as if nothing had happened. The remaining assassins, including Gavrilo Princip, believed the plot had failed. Disheartened, they began to disperse into the city's winding streets. At the town hall, the shaken Archduke interrupted the mayor's welcome. "I come here on a visit and am greeted with bombs. It is outrageous," he declared, his voice echoing through the hall. Tension hung in the air, every face marked by anxiety and disbelief. The first attempt had failed, but the danger was far from over. The city was on edge, and the conspirators' resolve had not vanished. The plotters' failure, the Archduke's resolve, and the authorities' confusion set the stage for what would come next, a moment that would change history. The day was not over, and neither was the threat. Sarajevo braced for what might follow. A single misstep, a twist of fate, would soon change everything. The city held its breath, caught between hope and dread. History was about to pivot, and the world would never be the same. After the town hall, the Archduke insisted on visiting the wounded at the hospital, a change to the original route. But not everyone got the message. The drivers, confused, followed the old plan, turning off the Appel key. General Potiorek realized the mistake too late, shouting at the driver to stop. The Archduke's car stalled, exposed, right in front of Schiller's Delicatessen, where Gavrilo Princip stood. Princip, believing his chance was gone, suddenly found his target delivered to him by a twist of fate and a string of errors. The car was motionless, its passengers vulnerable. In that instant, all the failed plans, compassionate detours, and miscommunications converged. Princip stepped forward, pistol in hand. The opportunity was unmissable. A moment of confusion became a moment of destiny. He fired. Princip fired 2 shots from just 5 feet away. The first struck Franz Ferdinand in the neck. The second hit Duchess Sophie in the abdomen. For a moment, no one grasped the horror, until Sophie collapsed, and the Archduke pleaded, "Sophie, don't die. Stay alive for our children." Blood appeared at his mouth. Both were mortally wounded. The car sped toward help, but it was too late. The Archduke and his wife died within minutes. The assassination, botched just an hour before, was now complete. Princip was arrested, his suicide attempt failing like Čabrinović's. News of the killings raced across Europe. 2 gunshots on a Sarajevo street would trigger the deadliest war the world had ever seen. The old world was ending. The 20th century's bloody course had begun. The assassins were young, radicalized by Serbian nationalism. Students, writers, idealists. Gavrilo Princip was just 19, driven by a vision of South Slavic unity and liberation from Austro-Hungarian rule. They belonged to young Bosnia, but their weapons and training came from the Black Hand, a secret Serbian military society. The plot was orchestrated by Danilo Ilić, who recruited and smuggled the conspirators into Sarajevo. They saw themselves as martyrs, not murderers, willing to die for their cause. Princip, too young for execution, died in prison of tuberculosis, unrepentant. Their actions achieved their goal, but unleashed a catastrophe they could never have imagined. Franz Ferdinand was more than a symbol. He was a complex man, fiercely devoted to his wife Sophie. Their marriage defied royal protocol. Sophie was denied rank, their children barred from succession. Sarajevo was a rare chance for them to appear together in public. Politically, Franz Ferdinand was a reformer, advocating for Slavic autonomy within the empire, a threat to Serbian nationalists. His assassination was not just personal tragedy, but a calculated move to prevent reforms that might pacify the Slavs. Their deaths ended not only a love story, but the hope for a different, more peaceful future for the empire. The violence was both intimate and world-shattering. A future was lost in those fatal moments. The assassination shocked Europe, but war didn't come immediately. For a month, diplomats scrambled during the July crisis. Austria-Hungary, with Germany's blank check support, issued Serbia an ultimatum designed to be rejected. Serbia accepted most demands, but Austria-Hungary wanted war. On July 28, 1914, 1 month after the assassination, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. The alliance system began to activate, pulling more nations into the conflict. What began as a local crisis was about to become a global catastrophe. The fuse was lit. Europe stood on the brink. Austria-Hungary's declaration of war set off a chain reaction. Russia mobilized for Serbia. Germany declared war on Russia, then France. Germany's invasion of Belgium brought Britain into the fight. Within a week, Europe was at war. The assassination was the spark, but the fire was fueled by rivalries, militarism, and alliances. 4 empires would fall, millions would die. The world of 1918 was unrecognizable from that of 1914. The Sarajevo shots didn't cause the war alone, but they set the disaster in motion. The lesson: peace is fragile, and history can pivot on a single moment. Remember Sarajevo, because its echoes still shape our world.